Like our name implies, sometimes we wander a little off course.
We need a better way to navigate. In this episode, we'll be showing you how we put together the perfect navigation and communication center for our overland rig, along with all the parts we used and the details of how we installed it. This totally fits our needs, but we think yours are about the same.
This is Wanderlost Overland. Yay! Alright, throw that away. Real quick, here's why we decided to put our stuff up here instead of down low. It gets our stuff up here where our eyes need to be. Besides, we would have to mount it on a tall stalk, and that would most likely vibrate and move around way too much, not as secure as what we'd like it to be. Also, being up here, it'd be out of the way from our knees, the transfer case shifter, and the CB mic. It gets our expensive tablet up here, where it can be seen by nefarious ne'er-do-wells.
Hold up. Nefarious ne'er-do-wells? Who even says that anymore? Hey, the 1940s called. They want their term for criminals back.
But we have a plan to thwart any efforts to make off with the goods. That'll come later in this video. It kind of gets in the way of the radio controls and the air vent, but it'd be in the way of something down below too. Holes have to be drilled in the dash. For us, that's not that big a deal. And if we were to ever remove all this, we could just plug those holes with little plastic plugs. To install the bracket, we have to take this whole part of the dash apart, but that's not near as hard as it sounds. In this video, we'll show you just how easy it is.
Let's take a little closer look at the mount we chose. This is Expedition Essentials T4R PAM accessory mount. On it, we can easily mount a phone, a GPS device, a tablet, a radio mic, just about anything. It has multiple mounting positions so you can custom tailor it to the equipment you have. The mount holes are spaced to accept popular RAM mounts. But with a little ingenuity, I'm sure other brands can be made to fit as well. One of its key features is the integrated USB outlet right where we need it, so we don't have wires drooping all over like a clothesline. It's made with high quality aluminum with a very nice finish. It really does make for a nice, clean, professional looking installation.
Now the first thing we need to do is mark the holes that we have to drill here and here. We're using these brackets that come with the mount, and that'll give us exactly where we need to drill those holes. So we spent a little time trying to figure out what the best method of marking these holes was, what worked best for us. And then we took these brackets and we actually loosely bolted them onto the mount. Now this side over here on the passenger side, this bracket lines up really nice with the dash right here. And that's cool. This side, the driver's side, does not, however, because it's different. The dash is different. So we have to kind of position it where it's nice and even up here. This is down nice and flat on top. And then we just position these brackets right to where we want them. Mark those holes. So now we get the pleasure of tearing the dash apart. And this isn't near as bad as it sounds. It's really quite easy. We start at the bottom. First thing we have to do is take these two panels off right here. And these there's no bolts on it. They just simply unsnap. To do that, you pull out and kind of twist it a little bit like that. We find makes it a little easier like that. It sounds terrible coming off, but trust me, it's just these clips releasing. And this side. Come on. They might be a little stubborn, but just get a good hold of them. And there's that one. Now, next, we have to take this portion off, and to do that, we simply hang on to these knobs and pull out. See? It's just a snap together car. Now when you're disconnecting wires or wire keepers behind here, and if your memory is about as good as mine, it's not a bad idea to take a picture of it before you disconnect everything. There. On this heater control, it's real simple. There's just a wire keeper and a wire plug to undo, and there's that. Now the next step is to take all this out. And to do that, there's 4 bolts under here, 2 on each side. So you pull it out. There's a couple of clips at the top. I've never had this out before, but that's what I hear. So far, it's working. Ah, there we go. There is a bunch of wires back here on this radio. We definitely have to take a picture of this. And there it is. Okay, it's all yours.
Now we can go ahead and drill those holes we marked. First with a small pilot drill. If we were to go with a 1/4 inch bit, the size we need for the bolt, there's a good chance the larger bit would wander a little on the surface and throw off the position of the hole. We're drilling a 1/16 inch pilot hole. Next I'm going to put these brackets on using the supplied bolts and washer and lock nut. We're keeping these a little loose for now. So now we have to bolt this on temporarily for a couple of more holes that we need to mark. In order to run the wires up for the new USB ports, I need to cut a little notch here. We've got all the bolts tightened now. That includes the brackets, the ones holding the mount to the bracket, and the 2 on top. Let's go put it in.
Before we can put that piece of the dash back in, we have to run the power wires up to our new USB ports. The Expedition Essentials gives you everything that you need to do that. They give you the wire with the connectors that go into the new USB ports, and these tap splicer thingies for tapping in down below. And what they suggest you do is tap into this 12-volt outlet down here in the dash. Now this plug behind this outlet is a little tough to get to back there, so what we're going to do is take out these 2 bolts and lean it backwards a little bit. And there's a couple clips right there too. That's better. We're not going to tap into those wires. They're perfectly fine and they'll work perfect for you if that's what you want to do. But we already have a wire, a positive wire down below here someplace that we plumbed in months ago just for this. It's coming from a relay underneath the hood, and it turns on. That relay is tripped by the ignition switch being on. We're going to have to try to find that. It's down here somewhere. There it is, right there. All right, we've got our wires run up here, positive and negative. Like I said before, we've got our positive tied into that line, that wire coming from a relay under our hood. The ground, we have grounded to a nice chassis ground down here. It's actually a bolt that holds the shifter down. So we're ready to put this all back together. All right, let's see if we can figure out where all these wires go now. That one there, there. Huh. This one, remember, goes there. Okay, double checking, making sure one last time that these are all nice and plugged in tight. And I can try to put it back in. Okay, last thing we need to do is put this back plate on. Now I'm going to turn the key on. Yay, it lights up, so there's power to it. And let's see if the radio works.
Avoiding commercials and trying
It works.
to find a signal.
Yay!
Resort to endless rounds of the license plate game to kill time.
For now, all that we're going to have mounted is our phone and our iPad. We're using the very popular Ram brand for mounts. They have by far the largest selection, and the articulation is incredible. Something for every application. We chose the 1.5-inch ball mounts over the more popular 1-inch for a little extra stability and holding power. This is what's going to keep those ne'er-do-wells from stealing our tablet. This holder has a lock that's really easy to use. The piece holding it to the dash also has a lock. It can only be unfastened with this special knob, so don't lose this knob.
Now for the most stable install, we're using the shortest arms possible. This will eliminate or at least greatly reduce the amount of shaking and vibrations. For our phone, we're using a mount that's incredibly popular, mostly because it's so easy to get your phone in and out. You just squeeze, put your phone in, there it is. Really stable. For a tablet, we went with an iPad Pro. It has Wi-Fi, 512 gigs I think it is, and the cellular function so we can get the GPS capabilities. With it, we can use all sorts of apps. This one monitors our secondary battery system. This gives us a complete status of our battery, how much we have left, how much we're consuming, how much is coming into the battery, complete history of what's going on, trends, whatever the heck that is, I don't know, but this is an app that controls our fridge freezer. We can adjust the temperature, we can turn zones on and off. We can even control our rock lights through this app right here. We can't get the screen to move right, but it's fine like this. Through here we can change the colors. We can make them blink, and we can control the brightness. How cool is that? The tablet's main purpose though will be for maps, and for that we chose Gaia. Now we haven't had much opportunity to use this app yet, but so far it's looking awesome. Now if you have a favorite mapping app, or if you have tips on how to use Gaia, please leave a comment below.
Now we'll never get lost again.
We're gonna have to change our name to Wanderfound.
Nah, we'll get lost once in a while on purpose just so we can keep the name. If this is your first time watching one of our videos and you'd like to see more, hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to ring the bell if you want to be notified.
Like our name implies, we wander a little off our planned route from time to time. Of course. But we have a plan to thwart any of their efforts. That sucked. Incredibly easy. Where's my phone? Here it is. So incredibly easy.
This holder has a key lock. A key lock?